Okay, welcome to Daily Game Design. This morning, I joined the virtual playtesting group. I think that was at around 8 in the morning. Spent a couple of hours with them, 2 or 3 hours, I guess. But anyway, so that group on Wednesdays is interested in playtesting heavy games, medium to heavyweight Euros. And Sugar Shack is the closest closest of any game I've designed to being like medium weight. Definitely not heavy, but there's enough happening, and I think enough with the like, especially the upgrading, the engine building, and there's enough going on there that it's definitely not light. And I think, as Chris said, it's like solidly middleweight, and it's heavier than most of what the guys on Mondays and Thursdays, heavier than what they tend to design. So I stopped in just to see what it was like, see what sort of games they're working on. It turned out that I helped playtest a game that was certainly lighter than I expected. Although when the teach started, I thought, "Uh-oh, this could be trouble." In fact, it turned out to be like very much in the vein of a space base. So, rolling dice at the start of your turn, activating stuff that you bought. So it's like a heavy version of Machikoro, where and space base, I guess. But yeah, you're adding cards to your tableau, and then when somebody rolls them, they activate and you gain resources off of them. I love Space Base. It's my most played BGA game, for sure. And probably by far. But this guy's game, it just had too many unnecessary layers and a lot of randomness that felt inappropriate, I think. So, anyway. Yeah, it was kind of cool, but I would strip out quite a bit from it. I don't know, felt kind of unnecessary with certain steps, certain layers. But no matter what, it's just good experience to test, good experience to learn to give feedback. So enjoyed that. Also, I made another discovery this morning, and that was because I was trying to figure out this instability thing. We're actually expecting really bad weather. At the same time, the sky is blue. It's a little cloudy, but I see blue sky. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I was expecting like crazy storms here on Oahu. The forecast shows like crazy thunderstorms, like expecting flooding and stuff like that. So I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to stream because of the weather. But also, I've discovered that that USB tethering actually works for me. It didn't before. I think I tried it one time before, and I'm pretty sure it's because of the cable I used. Like, I have this long cable, but it turns out it's not a data cable. This just works as a charging cable. I didn't realize that would matter so much. So, and I didn't realize, I didn't know how to tell the difference. So anyway, I'm trying USB tethering today, and hopefully it's much, much more stable. It seems to be so far. And also, it's great because I'm just charging my phone while I'm doing that. So I'm not having to deal with, some Wi-Fi issue coming from somewhere, whether it is that multiple devices are trying to use my Wi-Fi, or just the fact that some things, you know, might overheat a little bit or whatever. So I'm really hoping for some stability today. Well, I made some final tweaks for this iteration. I don't remember how far I got yesterday, but I started playing through. I changed a couple of the cards. One thing I realized is that shutting down the farmers market and then making the condition that you have some number of cubes in the town hall is a really bad idea, because that's one of the only ways you can get cubes into the town hall. So I made some little changes like that. But I think for the most part, it's ready. It's ready for a proper playtest. I'm not going to be doing that today, or at least not at first. What I wanted to show you was um, this acquaintance of mine posted on, oh, Oriana, pregnant. Did not know that. That's cool. um, you know what else? I wonder if this is online. I just remembered. There's a guide magazine. I just remembered that I could actually show you, like, using a bunch of AI art. Is that right? This feels wrong, but maybe it is the correct thing. Is this it? Yeah. How do you see past? How do you see past guides? Maybe it's just, maybe I could actually find it here. The Pathfinder club game. 8/17/25. Oh. Why does it say boardgamegeek.com refused to connect? What does this mean? I don't really get it. Anyway, I was thinking I could just show you the article about the Pathfinder Club game. Okay, what I was thinking to do is actually show you this artwork that brought, like, a kind of possibility to mind. I'll go back and I'll find it and show you. But this is how, it's actually kind of how I found Tristan Rawson. It was just in this Facebook group. Here it is. Okay, so I'll be honest, Duria, I honestly don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, but this guy posts artists' work regularly. I don't know, once or twice a week or something. So whenever he finds an artist that he thinks game designers will appreciate, he drops in some samples over here. And this really caught my attention. I love how vibrant it is. It's kind of whimsical, right? Fantastical. But I love this style of cartoon. I think it's really, really cool. So I've been struggling to figure out what to do with this little bidding game I have. I believe the bones are interesting. I believe the bones work. Where's this one? Oh, interesting. I don't know why. Let me just open this one. Oh, probably because this might have been how I taught or pitched the game. So I've struggled with this because I think the game actually offers a couple of fun problems. But I think so. I sent it, I think, to one or two publishers. One of them I definitely pitched to at BGG Con. The other was another acquaintance, Paul. I looked at a couple of rule books. I think he's, I don't know if he's the big man at Gamehead Games. I couldn't really tell, but sent him and he passed on it. And I wonder, I believe some of it is the theme. I mean, the artwork definitely doesn't stand out. And the other thing is, it might not feel like enough of the game. This game, I think, is most inspired by Welcome to the Dungeon. And there's very little game there, too. But they built in some variety. And it's just so elegant. There's a lot of great, pure tension in that game. And I think this one offers something like that as well. However, I think there's not, like, the hook is not obvious. Or if it is, I think the theme is probably distracting from the hook. As in, nobody cares about animals collecting stuff for the winter, or at least it's not exciting or interesting enough to really catch somebody's attention. So what it was before, it was it was based on the parable of the 10 bridesmaids, the 10 virgins. And thematically what was happening is you were collecting oil, or you had oil that you could spend on random stuff. I mean, it actually did not make any real sense thematically. You were spending oil to help townsfolk with projects while you were waiting for the delayed wedding party. So you're like using your oil and you were gaining goodwill. Like the victory points, I kind of thought of it as like the favor or the goodwill of those people. And then for whatever reason, like when you fell asleep, well, I guess it in a way it kind of makes sense. So when this deck ran out, the cards that you were gaining through auction, when it ran out, those became, then you shifted gears. You went into the night phase, and in the night phase, you just flipped cards until the wedding party arrived, and you were trying to you were hoping to have enough oil to last until the wedding party arrives. So it was fine. It makes sense. You kind of have a resource that's burning away. As you like wait through this process. And so I think that was effective. Like thematically somewhat representative, so it's fine. But then I rethemed, and this is somewhat because I'm trying to pitch to mainstream publishers now. It really feels like self-publishing is not feasible for me right now. And then things have slowed down on the Christian publisher side with Jack sort of taking a break, and I don't know anybody else who's taking the lead except for Elijah, and Elijah is really trying to publish like big games. It feels like, or already has a few lined up. And this is a small game. Like this is a very very small, very light filler game. So I thought, okay, let me try a retheme, and then the idea of animals waiting through winter, like hibernating, kind of made sense. Well, that theme works with the coziness uh, trend. I think it's okay, but it's not obvious to me why the game is not enough. Also, I suppose it is too that I haven't really pitched to that many publishers, and it could be I just didn't find the right one. That's totally possible. Um, but when I saw that artwork, when I saw this artwork, like a different atmosphere presented itself to me. So, like, I love this. Like, this is a really fun submarine with lots of weird things going on around it, and it's almost like it's in space with whatever these people are up to. Right? I thought that was a really, really fun image. I think it really was mainly the that submarine. But even this is kind of cool, right? It could be that you're like exploring a dungeon. I wouldn't necessarily want to put it. I thought of a cave. I thought a cave might help, but you could, explore a dungeon. The unfortunate thing is, of course, with Welcome to the Dungeon, that has already been done. And certainly other games have like decks where you'll flip through and encounter stuff. So the main question is, how can you preserve the auction? Like, what are you bidding on? What are you gaining by bidding on that? And then what what shift of setting, or when you switch from the bidding phase to the resolution phase, then like what do you need thematically for that thing that you've been bidding on to make sense, that it would need to last? So a couple things come to mind. One is oxygen. That's where the submarine obviously brought that to mind. Power or oxygen, something like that. Right. There, it could be like, if we're thinking about this image with looking through the through a dungeon, of course it would be something like fuel, like back to the oil idea. But I don't think retheming is enough. I really wonder why it says anything about Board Game Geek. I don't get it at all. I'm gonna try to open Chrome and see if that does anything. Like, why is this? I don't get this. BoardGameGeek.com refused to connect. I feel like I've been hacked or something. I don't know what that means at all. All right. So it could be that you're exploring something, right? It could be that it's just like deep sea. I mean, of course, there's deep sea adventure, and it's a shared oxygen problem, that shared resource. So I wouldn't love trying to push into that, to that category, or uh, that setting. And exploring a dungeon also has been taken. Um, but all I'm saying is there's not really enough of a game in this part. Like, there's no meaningful decision making. It's just you're hoping for the best, and it's kind of like exciting to have gambled perfectly, to the point that you're able to last until this card arrives. But you know what? What it's reminding me of right now is actually how to save how to how to save a world or how to save the world, where you can do everything right, but it's the randomness of the game. You can do everything right, but it's the randomness of the game. You know, it can provide surprises and upsets. I think this by itself is a neat idea because you're dealing with chance, you're dealing with uncertainty. Unless you spend your resources to be able to like look at more cards and have an idea of what's coming. I love that. I think it's really good as like the bones as tension. Am I going to spend my money on cards that are not worth very much that let me look and let me anticipate what's coming and adjust to what this phase is going to be like, or do I just push for victory points and hope that I don't lose so many that I end up losing the game because I'm not preparing for the trouble. I think that's an exciting problem. It's a simple problem. It's an elegant tension. Uh, it's an elegant system that highlights that tension. So the thing is, how could how could this become more of a game? Is my question. So I don't have full on solutions yet, but something that came to mind is I've been playing Beyond the Sun, and by the way, I'm very pleased with the stream so far. 0 dropped frames. It's looking pretty solid, so that's exciting. I see one little second where there was a little trouble with frame rate, but so far so good. That's awesome. I've been hoping for something that like helps me stabilize the stream for a while, and it's if it was just a data cable, then it's that simple. That's crazy. Okay, well, one thing that comes to mind is that this happens a couple of times. So it could just be that there's more to the game in the sense that maybe there are more cycles. So the first cycle is auction, resolution, right? And then just go through another one, auction and resolution. But I've been playing Beyond the Sun, and what I think is so cool about Beyond the Sun. Actually, I can bring it in here. I doubt it's my turn, but I can. I can just open the game. So Beyond the Sun is just cool, and I get that it's not for everybody. It's ugly. It's wonky, but it's a worker placement thing where you are placing your worker, which is just this cylindrical, what is it, a hexagon? A hexagonal cylinder. Is that a thing? Hopefully it is. So anywhere that there are these spots, and I actually, unfortunately, I don't think I can really. Can I zoom in? I don't even know. I don't see an interface that lets me. This doesn't even help that much. Okay, but a lot of so these worker placement spots are where you kind of get the game going, and then as you research and flip over more and more cards, then you get more research. You get more locations to place your guy, your little worker, and I think that's really neat. And these are all like stronger actions, stronger abilities, and it takes time and resources to flip things over and upgrade. But the thing is, as you upgrade, um, you trigger events, and most of them are you just get something cool, um, and you make a decision that affects the game. These event cards, I don't love event cards. There were event cards in the game I tested earlier today, and just don't love them. But if they're just something to adapt to and not like they negatively affect people, I think that's really different. And that's what's happening here. It's that something you'll flip over a card, you'll have to read it and decide. Are you going to add a new planet to the solar system? Are you going to get your own special tech? Or are you gonna, are you gonna choose to drop in, to gain a bunch of coal or to drop a ship into this little solar system? Okay, but what I haven't shown yet. So this is the tech tree part, and the upgrading I think is cool. It's really fun. It's brilliant, I think. But the other part of the game is this solar system part. And so what's happening here is that the players. Oh, what is happening? I think I did zoom in somehow, but I don't know how. I can't change the view here. I don't know what happened. Because now I can't show this whole map. Okay, that's right. Okay, so there is the tech tree side, and then there's the solar system side. And the solar system is like a super abstracted, um, like area control game. And you can see that we have these ships out here, and they're colored for the two of us players. Hey, Francisco. Happy afternoon to you too. Wait, we're 3 hours different now, right? It's 1:30 p.m. for me. It is. It's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. So what I'm thinking of doing is, yeah, okay, 3 hours. What I'm thinking of doing is adding a system to Long Winter's Nap, and it's not. I have no complete idea about it yet, except that I think what's happening in Beyond the Sun is really cool. In that there's something going on where you're upgrading, getting stronger, and whatever. But then there's also this little map where you're interacting with other players, and I think that is amazing. That it to me, this is a really cool tension because you get a lot of points from upgrading, but you also can get a lot of points from fighting in space. And definitely, like, the more you upgrade, the better you're going to be doing in space. But the time it takes to upgrade means that you might miss out on stuff happening in space. You might give an advantage of a certain kind to the other player. Like, as an illustration, the other player is controlling all of this stuff. So wherever you see their ships, Green's ships. Have you played Beyond the Sun? I think it's a very, very cool game. Yeah, it's super. I don't know. It feels a little. It could feel dry and kind of unemotional. What's the word I always try to think of? Clinical, but that's not it. That's not it at all. I always have a hard time remembering this word, but it's a really basic word. I just can't think of it when I want to. Not surgical, but it is how people refer to like a really Yeah, no, it's more of a mood. It's more of like a tone. It feels like clinical, surgical. What's another like kind of medical term for like the kind of room where it's all like it's white walls and um bright fluorescent lights and um a lot of a lot of stainless steel. Clinical, clinical. It's like in there. It's definitely. I'm just gonna like for clinical. What was the first surgical? Sterile. Yes, that's exactly it. It's sterile. So I think this game can feel sterile. It's just you're working up um you're just moving up the tree and you're just dropping cubes on and discs on cards, but there is the coolest tension here. I just think it's very very cool. Uh so yes, it's ugly and sterile, but it's just it's awesome. In my view, it's a very very cool game. So what I was thinking to do was experiment with one adding one more system here. So I think there is pure tension, a tension which I very much appreciate when it comes to the problem of bidding on things, bidding away a resource on things that give you points, and trying to hold on to that same stuff, the same currency, to protect what you got. I think that's a perfect problem. Like that's a great type of tension. But I think there still might be something missing here in this game, and so I was wondering if there's something I could add, a system I could add that would make this resolution kind of more interesting and more of a game. Because this is the sort of thing that just happens to players. It's fine, I think. I think it's okay. I just don't know what it would take to get it to the next level and make it more interesting to a publisher. But I think the game itself offers some fun little choices. It doesn't last very long. It's certainly like it's it's for sure a filler game. Um, but what I'm wondering is, forget to do those winter cards on the top. Flip to show some. Yeah, so I was trying to think of a couple of games that where this just happens. So where there's a phase in the game where things just happen to players at the end. Uh, so this happens in Rumble Nation where you just resolve everything, and then um, there are some cascades that can happen. And it also happens in How to Save a World, where you just check and see whether everybody survives or what weapon you use to shoot down the meteor. So I know this kind of thing happens. What happens? So these cards are randomized. Uh, yeah, they're randomized, and then you go through them one by one, flipping them over, and then either you pay, in this case you pay one green cube or 2 victory points. So you spend all your green cubes to get victory points, and then when you get to this place, this phase where you're resolving winter, this is the winter deck, and so you're just kind of wading through winter hoping to survive or like keep your resources or whatever. I don't think it's it's not so dire as life and death. Okay, so you flip that one and you don't know when spring is going to arrive. So this is the uncertainty here. The game allows you to bid on cards that are worth few victory points, but that also allow you to look at cards. So you could know, for example, you could find out that this one is spring. So you can bid in the future knowing what's coming or having a better idea what's coming. So people might see that and they say, "Oh, I bet Scott saw spring, so he knows that he only has to survive 2 cards. So I'm also going to bid more aggressively." Right? Or I could be bluffing, acting like I saw spring, and then but spring is actually way over here, and so the other people overbid and then lose all their victory points. So I think there's some really cool problems that show up. Even, well, I guess what I'm thinking through is, or talking through, is how this does just happen to players, but they do have the ability to interact a little bit with these cards so that it's not a surprise. It's not a complete surprise. Okay, so you'd pay 2 points or 3 discs. Wow. 2 cubes, 2 green cubes, or 3 orange discs. 3 orange discs are the victory points. Okay, here's an idea. There is a secondary biome topology pile of cards that is randomly set under each winter card, and you can see all the biomes. And certain biomes give you a bonus based on what is on the winter card. So what's in the biomes? Cards that randomly set under each winter card, and you can see all the biomes. And certain biomes give you a bonus based on what is on the winter card. Like forest, plains, underground. Okay. So my brother-in-law's birthday was on the 7th. I bought something on the 6th and did 1-day shipping. I added like $3 to it, to the order for 1-day shipping. It got delayed, and I learned it just shipped today. So what do I do? Maybe underground gives a bonus for winter, but is bad for spring. Okay, let me see if I have some understanding. Okay, so in this game, the players would have to survive through 3 cards before spring arrives. So the player with the most victory points after surviving these 3 cards is the winner. That's the current system. But what you're saying is something like let's just imagine a random card. So setup would be something like this. Francisco, have you ever playtested on virtual playtesting? VPT? So let's say this is, sure, forest. Look at that. Very finely written there. I don't think so. Okay. Well, so on Wednesdays they playtest heavy games, medium to heavyweight games, and they spend 2 to 3 hours on a game usually. I mean, even if you don't take Juggernauts there, that is a group that you would probably benefit from joining. So because what I want to do, like, well, the reason I joined today is to kind of feel out whether or not it would be useful to take Sugar Shack over there. I think it would because Sugar Shack is more of a Euro than any other game I've made. Their Discord, I'll just invite you. Also, these guys are two of them are like active developers. Like one guy, he has designed a lot of solo modes for games. And then the other guy is like, I think, just like a paid developer. I don't know who else participates. Yeah, so I'll show you just a little bit of how they do things. So every Monday and Thursday, that's when this guy Chris, you've probably seen him active on BGDL. Chris and another guy Ian, they host. They host and they have a little system where you'll open up a spreadsheet. You'll find the day right here. So like tomorrow, Thursday, and you can just drop your game in here. This is if you're building a lighter game. So like Doburn's Dungeon would work perfectly in here. And you would just put your name and then describe some stuff in the game. This is they play test mainly on TTS, but of course with Tabletopia it'd be totally fine. I play tested on Tabletopia today. It was terrible. I think it's just because of the my ping or whatever. But it was really, really unfortunately difficult to use. But anyway, that's for Monday and Thursday, and then Wednesday. So it's just this. You can see I was chatting a little bit in here today, but these are the guys who are usually there: David Digby and Zontrom. Oh, I use a browser. I didn't know about a Steam client. I'll try that though. We're supposed to be getting crazy weather. It just seems totally fine. Good call though. Yeah, I have no clue. It's great. Oh, it's already here. Why? I forgot I had it. Why does it ask me if I want to install Steam? Steam is installed. Open Steam. Oh, I see. Because I'm not. I'm just in a browser. I'm not in the like in Steam itself. So I got the retreat library all sorted out. I didn't collect everything. Oh, it's downloading, so I didn't have it. Maybe it was in my library, but I never installed it. Anyway, thanks for pointing that out. I'll try that. I imagine it'll be much, much better, even if there's still a little bit of lag, but I bet being able to interact with components will be a lot better. That was pretty frustrating. Added so much time to the playtest, just trying to figure that stuff out. Anyway, so these guys, they're pretty heavy hitters. So I really wish you had I'd gotten you in here before, because these guys would have, I think, a lot of really helpful feedback. I mean, I know you're not at that point now, but oh yeah, they got Tam to be a host. I don't know Tam. I've never interacted with him, but he co-designs with David Gordon a lot. I just saw that David is a host, but I don't see him on anymore. But there's like really solid people in here. Very, very helpful. And a lot of the guys, they're there like every week. So this guy David has been very helpful to me. David Hodgson. He played Sugar Shack a while ago. He and one other guy helped me out with a lot of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so definitely check them out. Okay, so back to okay. Tell me again now. Okay, so let's say some cards come out, or maybe it's a board, right? Maybe. Well, I suppose it might be good if this was kind of random every time. I don't know if I'm catching your vision yet, but I suppose. Wait a second. Forest. Um. I don't know. Tundra. I don't know. What did you have here? Biomes, plains, underground. Yeah. Okay, so now what was it like? So like as you resolve, now these cards also interact. Is that what you were thinking? Mm-hmm. I'm really very happy with the way that this stream is going. I mean the stability of the stream, it's been really good. I see a little bit of red from the Facebook data, but like problem solved. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Problem solved. Hopefully no more super weird streams. If the forest is under winter, you get extra food. Plains under winter, you get extra VP. Okay, so it's kind of like it's just another reason to look at the card, right? It's just having some more information on another type of system. I think is your idea, right? Yeah. Yeah, I could see a reason to do that. So, in other words, you could see the forest card. Let's say if forest means a little more food, then you might bid confidently, a little more confidently, hoping that you're going to get food back, or that you're going to get the yeah, the green cubes back. I see. Okay, yeah. Now I think the way, so right now there are basically tiers of winter cards, but I could see something like this. Like, so if it's a harsh winter, then the forest doesn't give you anything, as an example. If it's a mild winter, then it might give you two food or something. That could be cool. I mean, because spring, we still need one way to like get out of this phase, right? And then a way for these relationships to kind of matter a little bit um, before spring arrives. So this makes, yeah, this is interesting. Hmm. Okay, so I could see some, yeah, building something into building meaning into some, yeah, a secondary relationship between the cards that are getting flipped and something else. Got it. Yeah, so I think that's a neat idea. I think there's something there. The other thing that I thought, oh, oh yeah, I mean, we're this is just full on brainstorming. All I think what you're highlighting is that there could be a reason to have another step in setup that, like, adds some more cards, adds a couple more interactions. So that could be a thing, right? We're definitely not thinking about details and how things actually work. But the idea that this kind of thing could be a thing, I think is cool. I think that's well observed. The other thing that I was hoping to explore, because I never thought of that, and that's what's cool right there. But yeah, certainly making zero commitments on how things would actually work. Definitely. Um, so I wondered if there could be a little board of some kind, and it would be just basically a tile, nothing, nothing extraordinary, nothing complicated, but something really, really abstracted where players could. Well, that's why I'm actually also not committed to this being about winter. That was kind of the idea of a retheme anyway, is to explore how this type of problem where you use a thing to get a thing, but then you hang on to that. Uh, you use this to get that, but you also try to keep this to protect that. So, like, I think you kind of see it in that food is what helps you get through the winter, kind of, right? It doesn't explain the victory points. There's no thematic tie into the victory point bit yet, but I don't know that there has to be. But then fuel is another one. So using fuel to get something, selling fuel in order to get something, but then needing fuel in order to like reach your destination. So that's a similar problem. That's kind of like the original theming, which was the oil. You had the 10 bridesmaids spending oil to gain goodwill, but then also keeping oil because they needed oil they wanted their oil to last until the wedding party arrived. So that kind of represents that theme kind of helped this mechanic make sense. Another one that I'm wondering about is either like in space or underwater, or in a dungeon, like in a, in like this is exploring a dungeon. I kind of abandoned those, at least the dungeon and the underwater thing, because um those are just too close to two other games I really enjoy, which are Deep Sea Adventure and Welcome to the Dungeon. I'm sure there are plenty of push your luck space games too. I think I've never played Mlem fully, or I have never played it and understood it, but I feel like that's a push your luck system, but I just don't know how it works. So what I could imagine is, like, let's say um three cycles. Three cycles where um you'd have to set up this deck 3 times. That could be annoying, but it's not horrible. It's just 5 cards. It's not bad. This one is the annoying one. This is the annoying deck right here. But what I'm wondering about is, let's say, well, here's Tabletopia. Where did it go? Yeah, so what I was thinking is there could be a couple cards that let you look through this deck. There could be a couple more cards that let you navigate your ship somewhere or something like that. So this could be like an outer space thing. No idea what it would what it would actually be, but I'm just going to open up Canva and kind of brainstorm a little. Just a very simple map. Yeah, because suddenly what occurred to me is pick up and deliver. So some of these things, some of these cards just give you abilities, like interacting with like the space flight deck or whatever it would be. Whereas some of them might actually just be like resources. Like here's an engine you need to drop off somewhere else or something like that. Or batteries or something. Here I am. So how would I find Juggernauts workshop? I feel like I've tried. Oh, nope. So it should just be in here. Okay, so this is running TTS, and it's running Vivaldi, and it's running OBS, and it's running Tabletopia now. So if this is not a good test, I don't know what would be. the ultimate test. Oh, I have a lot open right now. Ultimate test. Oh, this is already encouraging that this mouse is moving. I mean, obviously it's native to my system, but in the browser, this was very slow. Actually, I can close this too. Uh-oh. Starting to see a little stress, a little red for the stream. But the health still looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, certainly more responsive. Very good. Oh yeah. Done. Done. Don't you need 3 short duns before the long one? Or maybe we're hearing different duns. Let me see what it's like to interact with stuff. Okay. A little bit. Oh no, that's very nice. Yeah, this is working well. I'm definitely gonna remember this for next time. I had a really hard time like picking stuff up. Yeah, this is way nicer. Wait, how do I? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this looks great. And yeah, well, what I wonder is how would I open? Interesting. Wait a second. How can I leave? Let me leave. Okay, go back to the lobby. Because what I wonder is if I'm able to open. Let me see if I'm able to open this guy's. Where'd that go? Yeah, something very weird is happening. I wonder if I'm able to open a link. Like, should I be able to just put it in here? It looks kind of like I should. Yeah, the internet is starting to struggle, or my connection. Oh no. Okay, here it is. Does that do something? No. How do I... Is it working on it? Maybe by the name? I mean, why is this not... Oh, there's no way that's going to be in there. No, I'm trying to figure out how I could open this game. Like, cause the guy posted a link in our Discord chat. And so I was just curious if I could like, how would I find a game not by searching for it, but by opening up a link or by having a link. Find and play. Ooh, I like Fox Experiment. Oh, that's not going to work. Yeah, maybe this is above find and play. Oh, yeah, no, there's no way I can't do anything. I can only copy it. But I can't change. There's no actual space to. That's a URL, but I can't interact with that. I can just copy it. Oh, Speakeasy's in here? Interesting. Well, anyway, that's something for another time, but thanks so much for sharing that. I am excited to try to use that rather than what I was doing. Okay, we dropped a few frames, but it's certainly not as bad as usual. Okay, so what could I do this on? I'll just do it here. So I'm seeing an article that says some mountain areas on Oahu could see 30 inches of rain. 30 inches of rain. Yeah. Here's what just occurred to me. So if that's one reason why I'm really glad that the stream is as stable as it is. I mean, it's more stable than usual anyway, but I expected us to have really insane weather right now. Okay, so I'm just going to connect these. I thought there was a way. Oh, there is. Wait. Oh. Okay, yeah, I can just connect to other stuff. No, I couldn't. No, there was no way to. I couldn't find any way to put a link anywhere, but I'll work on that some other time. But thanks for sharing the idea of a Steam client with me. I never heard of that. Okay, so what I'm thinking right now is why not just like experiment with a kind of simple pick up and deliver thing. So let's say here's a map. And so this goes back to being a kind of like maybe there doesn't need to be a directional arrow. A directional arrow might be interesting though. So I'm thinking like kind of space themed. And the important thing would be something like nice. It would be something like maybe every so often like a solar storm hits, right? Or something like that. So rather than this being the main mechanic, this thing um there's just always a solar storm up there ready to go. And then as you flip through this stuff, wow, actually this could work. I think this could work. So some cards, yeah, it's like money and victory points, but special abilities. So let's say that these let you look at, what do they let you do? Look at any two cards on the table. And let's say now, you know what, I'm just going to drop this in here just for fun. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, thanks for your spark of good ideas. It's always cool. Appreciate you sharing your time and energy with me. Enjoy dinner. I'll see you soon. Yeah, awesome. If this is the right one? Yeah. Where did all these cards come from? Did I accidentally copy a lot? Looks like I did. Okay, so now I can shrink all of these. I'm just gonna work for a little while longer. I actually think I need some more rest. I was up pretty late last night, didn't sleep super well, and I'm kind of feeling like headachy and kind of weird. I also just think I'm just not like just lacking exercise. I feel like um, is definitely affecting me. I'm gonna say, what am I gonna say? Space auction game. So now instead what's happening is you may be navigating around this super simple system. Uh the auction is just always it's ongoing. And so you would still have, let's say you'd still have a bunch of these things. Right? So the storms and stuff would still um so basically what you would have is, why is that weird? You would still have this uncertainty, and you could like analyze the storm, right? Or you could like check the forecast of the storm. So this would be one dynamic that you're caring about and having to think about, but it doesn't have to be like the resolution of the game. So still, yeah, still you'd be bidding on things wanting to like look at stuff. Right? So these would still be relevant. There shouldn't be so many of them. Okay, and then we have another type of card, another type of card. And then this would be like a space market, basically. And probably you could I wonder how you could Yeah, I like this a lot. So some of this would be about, or it could even be pirate themed, or it could be almost any kind of theme. Actually, let me write some of this stuff down. Okay, so where did it go? Long Winter's Nap. Okay, considering a retheme, space, pirates, thinking to add a map and travel, pick up and deliver. The main mechanic is that you're bidding on cards. Every now and then, a hurricane or solar storm is triggered. That's the current winter phase. And now you can bid on more types of cards. With more actions. So items, movement, actions, etc. Yeah, I think this is actually very cool. So I think I'll end here with a few notes, and rest a little bit, and then get back to work. Probably working on grading or something like that. Anyway, as always, thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you tomorrow. That is, of course, pending weather. Yeah, be productive. Be nice. Bye bye for now.